Full foot opposed by
a railing ball, good mates too, body to body early. The 7th Western Derby so far. The Eagles have been perfect in meetings between these clubs. Gardner goes up and knocks it down. Fletcher immediately into the action to Burton. Burton hooks it high out towards half forward, intended for Sinclair, and Sinclair did not let him down. What a terrific grab. Outmanoeuvred somehow, completed the mark on his chest. Jez Sinclair forward of the wing, probing kick inside the 50. Man in front, fisted away by McIntosh. Chance for McManus roving the pack. Diving in there is Stone. Whistle and the ball up.
Bit of quality here from Jez Sinclair, certainly can play. And both sides starting spare man in defence. Djakovic for West Coast, McGovern for the Dockers.
Certainly a great start by Sinclair, kicked off the ground, taken by Braun, across half back, feeds it off to Evans, kicks the ball down towards the wing, looking for Schofield, who runs the ball over the line.
Subiaco Oval, more action from round 3. The game just seconds underway. Throwing out his side, no score. Eagles winning the toss and running left to right. We welcome viewers around the country. This Western Derby. As Djakovic scrambles a kick up towards the wing. Norrish paddles the ball to his own advantage. Jason Norrish settles, goes to Burton, who started very well. Burton on the wing, wants to go and does. Kicks inside the 50, thumping kick. McIntosh works off man, takes a clever mark. Escabeni at Subi alongside Kevin Bartlett. Ross Glendinning as Gardner's got the ball to Waterman up from the back pocket, sends play up towards the wing now. O'Reilly knocks it away, swooping on it Evans. Clever hand pass, in trouble though. Getting a free kick is Schofield. Well, he's a bit lucky.
Inside the centre square. Already I've noticed, Roscoe, the Dockers kicking the ball a little bit longer into their forward line. Schofield goes short, finds Banfield on the edge of the centre square, kicks inside 50. Into open space, there's Lewis playing game number 200, gets good support from Ball, trapped up, squeezed up on the boundary line, centres the ball. This is a terrific kick. It's been taken by Philip Matera.
Yes, Chris Bond has the job on Philip Matera. There's a suggestion that Bond might start on Peter, trying to match Philip's elusiveness and pace on that forward half, and Lewis just good evasive skills, just come back, dummies on the inside and sets it up in front of the square here for either Banfield or Philip Matera, the latter taking the easy mark.
Philip Matera directly in front, 35 metres out. First goal to the Eagles.
There's an already just a bit of a concern from my point that the Dockers are prepared to leave Glenn Djakovic free on that half-back line, because they've got Andrew McGovern free on their half-back line. It's asking Daniel Bandy, who's predominantly playing centre-half forward and being picked up by Ryan Turnbull, to cover both those players. But here's this clever play by Chris Lewis, a bit of a trademark move of his, and disciplined play to the front of the square.
Fremantle bench. Coops, Clucas in the foreground there.
Stuart Anderson's also there.
Surprisingly, we've started Anderson. There's the bounce. Over the top, Gardner. Knocking it down towards half-forward. Braun left the ball behind. Fletcher falling to the ground. Goes out to McGovern. McGovern from half-back up towards the wing. Awkward half-volley. Well trapped by Bandy to Fletcher. Bond is cruising past, that's ignored. Fletcher inside the 50. McKenna couldn't complete the mark. Turnbull trapped it once, goes after it again, crashing in there Chisholm. Whistle and a bounce about 35 metres out from the Dockers attacking goal.
And Adrian Fletcher just demanding a lead forward from his skipper, and Peter Mann, who was very casual in making some sort of decisive move toward him. Therefore the kick went shorter.
There's the bounce. Turnbull thumping away. Evans, nicely done. Waterman towards the outer side wing. Sliding attempt, Philip Matera. Bond in on top of the ball, and Matera ties it up. Interesting. Peter Matera's in the goal square on the forward line for the West Coast Eagles. Norrish has gone down there with him.
Not a bad match up that either, Dennis. Pace for
pushing,
pace.
Yeah, pushing and shoving too in the square. Getting the crowd's attention. Away comes Jakovic towards half forward. Awkward bounce. Out comes Parker, that's Shane Parker. Didn't control the ball. Gehrig. Did he have it? It spills towards the boundary. Philip Matera and the ball go across. Let's go down to Barra.
Dennis, thanks very much. Just talking further on that Peter Matera move, he started on the wing, was getting heavily tagged by Jason Norris, and now he's tried to expose Norris at full forward. So Matera's playing full forward, and Scott Chisholm at the other end, controversial last week. Now he's playing half forward flank for the Dockers.
Well, I like that move, Barra. No doubt Chisholm up there. As we see, Dirty Harry put the ball over the line on the full.
Unusual mistake by him. But already there's signs that Dockers prepared to go one-on-one. Be accountable for someone.
The lead from Matera out in front. Braun honours the lead. Traps it on the boundary line. Norris the tackler. They'll toss it back in. So a chance for the Eagles. With the boundary thrown 45 metres around from goal. Spider Burton versus Ball. So Spider got his hand on the ball first, then does his own roving. He's been handy in the opening minutes. Comes back where we see the ball taken away by Gale from the half-back flank. Kicks up towards the centre of the ground. Chisholm caught underneath the ball. Then Banfield was the tackler. McManus goes to ground. Banfield with clean hands gets it back to Waterman. Chips it back to 50. There's a good mark to Braun. Or the free kick. Take your pick. It's been pretty impressive in the opening 2 games of the season, Roscoe.
Yes, just coming in for his 10th game today. He's averaging 23 possessions this season, so he's really found a niche for himself. His work rate's outstanding. Bit of class about this fellow.
Gehrig and Ball are in the goal square. So Braun will be kicking from just outside of 50. So the youngster gets good distance. The distance is there, and so is the accuracy.
It's his 4th goal for the season. That's the sort of quality I was alluding to, the fact that he could finish off like that, found the space. Of course, Chris Waterman, who spots a player coming through half-back, is clever in that way, and he was the fellow who gave that ball off. There's the kick, and Braun was always going to take that mark. Fletcher was going to be too late. McGovern is off the ground. Coops is on.
And so the West Coast Eagles getting the fast start. They're up by 12 points. Just over 15 minutes remaining in this opening term. Rucks go at it again. Falls at their feet. Fletcher tried to control it. So too Banfield. It comes back to Dodd. Hurried kick down towards centre half forward. In from the side. The high flyer was Sinclair. Running behind McKenna. Jarred out of his hands. McManus stumbling as the ball. There's a whistle.
Free kick to Guy McKenna, Dennis.
McKenna getting it. Across the ground he comes, laying the ball into the path of the running Banfield, and Banfield's away. Up towards the wing, kicking towards half forward. Gehrig's in front. In close attendance, Parker. Hitting the pack hard and doing well. Philip Matera down towards Lewis. Couldn't control it, Lewis. Back to goal. Feeds a hand pass away. Banfield slips away. Shoots. Gehrig goes back and marks it. Fraser Gehrig only a couple of metres off the line. Hasn't this crowd built up in the last few minutes? Some late arrivals, but virtually a full house now. And there were some concerns during the week about the tickets sold coming into this game. Fraser Gehrig on the tight angle. The young Victorian superstar. What can he do here? Wills, a little slow to react. Gehrig gets the goal.
Well, they look pretty promising, West Coast. That's their strength and their running capacity to make you pay with them. Fumble off half-back. The ball ends up on their half-forward line. And Chris Lewis probably could have gone 2 hands there, but still controlled the footy. Then Banfield, who was actually having a shot there, the ball off the inside of the boot. And Gehrig clear of Parker, an easy mark.
Great start by the Eagles. 3 straight goals. They lead by 18 points. The Dockers have hardly had the ball inside their attacking 50. Again, Burton does well at the centre square, aided by a good bounce. Banfield, it's been handy also. this opening term. Going to ground was Evans. Thought he was caught high. Back to Banfield. Good tackling this time by the Dockers. The loose ball comes out to Wills. Rockets the ball wide. Great interception by McKenna. Rockets the ball back. Schofield, front edge of the centre square. It's going to land in the arms of Parker. It's got the loose player wide in Gale. Cross half back.
Oh,
Great tackle.
just pressure, wasn't it? That's full half pressure, KB. That's what you want from your flankers.
It's been very lively. Chris Bond has picked him up, but already he looks dangerous across the half-forward line. He's kicked a goal. The lead is on. He honours at the ball. Too much carrying's been taken by Big Spider.
Hasn't he been terrific?
Well, hasn't he shown his value already?
Here's Harding. Jakovic momentarily on the forward line, offering a lead in the pocket to that last kick coming in. Here's Callahan, full-chested. He's at right half back. His side down by 18 points to Norrish. Norrish running away from half back towards midfield. Well judged by Fletcher. He was going for mine, given the benefit of the doubt. Kicks into Evans. Or was it Braun? Braun guarding the mark. Evans comes at the ball. Scrambled forward around the outer side by the Dockers. Callahan close to the line. Sinclair pushes it across. Sinclair, who started this game so well, in the opening seconds he took a spectacular mark. There he is, Jess Sinclair. Let's watch it again. First kick of the game from Big Spider. And Sinclair gets on the end of it.
So Gardner versus Spider Burton. It's all tied up.
Jared Neesham looking for a mismatch too. He started Andrew McGovern half-back as a spare man. He's taken him off and put Coops up into the forward line, who's been picked up by a taller player in Turnbull.
Barra, comment?
KB injury report. Scott Chisholm came off with the blood rule, had a nick on his face, and Stuart Anderson went on into the forward line. And the crowd is absolutely terrific. Dan, you're right.
McManus quickly into the forward line, then gets bowled over by Waterman. Going to ground was Dodd. Anderson, another great tackle by Matera. Man tried to crash his way through. They'll toss it back in. Official AFL website. So a chance for the Dockers inside 50. Bandy to do the ruck work against McKenna. So two Torshu went out. Schofield read it well. Then he breaks wide. Going to ground was Stone. Picked up by Wills. Gives the ball back to Sinclair. Good 65 metres out from goal. Man's the target in front. They need a crummer. Schofield pounced on it for West Coast. Back towards the edge of the centre square. Fraser Geary couldn't take it on the half volley. Dodd out in front. Again, Man's the target. And again, too much carry on the ball taken by McIntosh.
They sit that ball down, don't they, Dennis? Going to sit that ball down and give Man a chance.
Yeah, better short than long. Worsfold across the ground. Putting in the race is Gardner. Fletcher knocks it towards the boundary line. Across it goes. Great use of the body by McKenna, throwing himself in there. The forecast. We've reached our maximum, the forecast maximum anyway, 22 degrees. Cloudless sky, hardly any breeze, just wafting across this ground. Fletcher leads in the race. Closing is Braun. Fletcher kept it alive. Wishes he hadn't. Kemp's got it now. Didn't have the ball. Harding goes after it. Kemp to get the free kick. Well, he hadn't controlled it. It was very clever. Dean Kemp. Forward of the wing. Probing kick. Gale. Third man in the queue. Big Spider. There's Burton forward of half back. Looping hand pass. Said his teammate got a task there. Crashing in was Lewis. Socket off the ground by Kemp. Spinning out of trouble and coming away is Harding. Harding, a little chip towards half-forward Bandy. They've got the numbers. Bandy thought about going. Kemp did well. Gets back to pick up the mark. Coops in front. Need two hands on. Callahan lost it. Jakovic falling to the ground. Great tackle by McManus. Jarred it loose. Coops grabs it. That's better. No, across the face. Out of bounds on the full. Anxious to make amends.
West Coast, 3 straight goals, 18. Fremantle yet to score. A wasted opportunity that time by Stephen Coops. Banfield across half back. Got the midfield runners. Schofield, strong, stands his ground. Kemp rockets the ball out wide. Big Gardner just ambles down. He wants to give it off. Last he finds ball. It kicks down towards the half-forward line. Looking for Lewis. Punched away.
Well done by Mark Gale too. Just wanted front position and kept Lewis out of it. Contrast and experience there, but Gale doing the better that time.
Ball and O'Reilly right on 50. A lot of pushing and shoving. They lock horns. Wills back of the pack, thumps the ball back towards centre half forward. Clement comes out, didn't get the bounce he wanted. Bandy knocked over that time by Schofield, who's been in everything in this first term. Wild kick off the ground by McManus.
Free kick. Going to West Coast, Grant Vernon saying kicking in danger.
So Gardner will take it on the half-back flank. Feeds it off to Waterman. Puts Evans under a lot of pressure. So a chance for the Dockers. Can they make the Eagles pay? They can't. Stone thumps the ball, just belts it back to 50. Lewis again out in front. Got another bad bounce. Here's Matera. He's already kicked a goal. Bond does well. Heads towards the boundary line.
Bit of jumper being held there too by Bond on Philip Matera. The umpire didn't see it. Matera just pleading for the free
Bit
kick.
of aggro between the two of them.
There'll be more of that.
Chris Bond grew up barracking for North Melbourne. His hero was Malcolm Blight. Interestingly, ditto Adrian Fletcher, who went after the ball there. They're two recruits. They work together again as Bond comes out to Sinclair. McManus in front. Well played by Evans, the Warrior. Knocks it across the boundary line.
Quick change here as we see the replay. Spider Birding coming off for a rest. Dan Parker going on to centre half forward. Bandy's in the ruck.
3 goals straight to no score. Burton very good. Great start. And they have fought him off the ground. Gerald Neesham said he wasn't fit last week. That's why he got limited time. Worsfold off, I think, under the blood rule. Wooden comes on. Just a graze on the left elbow, the captain. Tossed in on the wing then. Gardner and Bandy. Workmates. Picked up by Wills. The outside of the boot. Clement, was he pushed in the back? Yes, he was, says the umpire. Clement to take the free. Forward of left centre wing. Parker offers the lead towards the middle. That's ignored. Goes long. Down towards Coops, outnumbered. Clever mark by Turnbull. Reaching over the top. Releases Evans. Evans at right half back. Kicking it up towards the wing. Gehrig in best position. Just plucking it over the top. Centres the ball to Gardner. Too much carry. Golden opportunity now for the Dockers. Wills knocks it to Bandy. Breaking is Callahan. That's ignored. Bandy goes for a gallop. Confronted by Gardner. What was he thinking?
Oh, goodness.
Gardner dragged him down. Wooden got the hand pass to Jakovic.
That's one of the big problems for the Dockers. They can't make a decision. Gehrig kicks towards an open goal. This is going to bounce. So the race is on. Matera should get there. He'll kick it off the ground. Philip Matera.
Penalty.
He's kicked 2.
Well, you can't believe what was going through Daniel Bandy's mind there. They had the paddock in front of him. All he had to do, if he couldn't make up his mind, was kick the ball forward. He had players presenting themselves off half forward. They lose control of the footy, and then you give it to someone like Gehrig. You could see the goal square was open. Philip Matera broke through a pack of 3 or 4 players. No one can match him for speed.
The Eagles by 4 goals. Of course, the problem is, Roscoe, when Bandy runs down the ground, his teammates run with him. And once you get that turnover, it makes it very difficult for the defence to get back. Bandy from the centre square to Harding. Kicks the ball down towards the half-forward line. There's a big pack of players. McManus worked his way to the front. Callahan at the fall of the ball on 50. Wobbles the kick forward. Goes over the line and out of bounds.
This may seem very strange, but their effort so far in this quarter is much better than last week. They just can't get it on the scoreboard.
Thinking the same thing. They look okay.
They look as if they might threaten for a while. Whether they can sustain it is different, but they just can't get something on the scoreboard.
Yeah. Makes for a tough afternoon when it's not translated on the board. You can't go on forever, and that's the problem. So clinical for the West Coast Eagles. Man's over it. Plenty of bodies in there. Willing work. Whistle and the ball up. About 15 metres out from the Dockers' attacking goal. Great atmosphere.
Would have to be close to as good a crowd as they've had for the Derby. The first one in '95's had the best crowd.
Off hands, Waterman comes away. There's the attendance that day, 41.601. Out towards the wing, Wills in front, has plenty of company, dragged down, needs a tap on. Gehrig awake to that, to the ball across the boundary line, and Wills is slow to get up.
Bandy versus Gardner. Two very athletic young players. Wills thrown to the ground by Banfield, so strong tackling by the Eagles. Kemp just paddles the ball along, crashes into Chisholm. Again, they'll throw it back. Let's go down to Adrian Barrage.
KB, just to elaborate on what you're saying about the Dockers forward line and come to Daniel Bandy's defence, there's just nothing happening up there. They're just being closed down by the Eagles.
Gardner thumps the ball forward. Callahan has to meet Gehrig. Kicked off the ground by Schofield. Straight in the arms of Harding, who can set it up. He wanted to draw an opponent. Bandy does the shepherding. He wants to take him on, gives it to Parker. And through the centre square, Harding kicks the ball long. It's a floater. Not much chance for the forwards. It's a loose ball. Bounced on it is Clement. 45 metres out. First goal coming up for the Dockers. Touched by McIntosh. Right on the line.
Now, Roscoe, if I come back as a running, bouncing player, remind me not to have Daniel Bandy shepherd for me. That was okay. It didn't work too well in the centre, did it?
No, they just got away with it.
Just got away with it.
Dodd's doing a good job on Dean Kemp.
McIntosh to himself, runs away, high kick towards the outer side. Jakovic couldn't hang on. Evans on his knees, taps it wide. Fletcher's in front, flicks it back. Harding couldn't control it. Down goes Fletcher. Spills out to Daniel Parker, slips the hand pass away. Dodd could have been pushed in the back. Harding, who's doing well. Norrish feeds it back. This is Fletcher again, 75 metres from goal. Adrian Fletcher settles, puts it up high. Chisholm should mark. Oh, he dropped it. Picked up by McManus, hurriedly on the boot. Cooks over the top. He couldn't mark it. Callahan, have another shot. And through it goes for a behind. Well, it was like a gallery at the Royal Show. They were queuing up. Had to mark that one.
Just not getting reward for effort, are they? I mean, they're putting it in, they're matching it, just can't finish off.
McIntosh finds Evans, centre half back. Again, the runner is Kemp. Goes wide looking for Jakovic. Marks in front of Parker. On the half-back flank, Jakovic. Kicks the ball down and he's found his teammate down there in Fraser Gehrig, who's been very lively. The ball across to Braun. Tries to drill it towards Philip Matera. He's already kicked 2 goals. His ball just drops it in short, and playing in front is Gale.
Good shepherd by Philip Matera too to allow ball the freedom there.
Wastes no time and finds Parker. So the loose player is McManus. And he's just squeezed it in.
What's that saying, Dan?
Centimetre perfect.
Thank you.
McManus on the half-back flank. It's very crowded now. He slowed the play down and the Eagles have got back. So McManus will just kick long and wide. Bandy was the high flyer in front.
He's
got a free kick.
Greg Scripps saying over the shoulder. I feel sorry for him.
So the Dockers are working the ball around the boundary line.
Favours the Eagles when they do that. They like that sort of play.
Which goes by 22 points.
Very much so.
So Bandy kicks long, gets good distance, pushing and shoving. It was Chisholm, but outpointed by Waterman.
That's such a waste of effort.
Chris Waterman, what a good player he's been, towards Gehrig. Tackled as he came down, no free kick. This is McKenna in trouble. Gets the hand pass away. Dodd heads for the boundary line, gets it across. Interesting stat on Guy McKenna. He's young Dodd, who aspires to be, I guess, like a Guy McKenna. But McKenna, Brownlow votes in both games last season and the season before. So he's dominated Western Derbies. Norrish on his knees, gets the hand pass away. Fletcher was trying very hard, kicking towards half forward. Waiting behind was Chisholm initially. Did well enough though, knocked it forward. Parker sold Wills into trouble to Sinclair. Goes back towards Parker. Roscoe getting good talking Roscoe. Parker down towards full forward. In front down there was Mann. Could have almost got a free that time. Over the shoulder, nothing doing it behind.
Bit of barracking there, Roscoe.
Well, It's not so much that, it's just that players, it's much easier. It's a very simple game. Get it and kick it. Don't go backwards with a handball.
Did catch man over the shoulder of McIntosh. 24 plays 3 in favour of the Eagles. McIntosh goes for distance. Jakovic is his target. Caught behind was Parker. Jakovic thought he took the mark, then tries to slap it on. Norris with strength, pushes off Matera, gives it back to Callahan, who goes short, finds McManus.
Jason Norris at the moment has Peter Matera fairly frustrated.
That was strong by Norris, just to straight arm him off.
And there's a bit of a fight on. They're pushing and shoving.
Peter Matera is yet to have a touch, which is unusual for him. Norris, who has that Melbourne experience and strength in his legs and body and the discipline.
That's bordering on a melee, is it not?
It is.
Well, Jakovic is meleeing with his teammate.
Yeah.
Sean McManus from right on 50. Can he kick the Dockers' first goal? It's a big bomb. Distance was there. It's off target.
Well, that's interesting. Chris Bond having a bit of a crack at the runner, Don Pike.
McIntosh again. This time picks out Braun. Over the top was Fletcher. Banfield caught by Sinclair too high.
Finally.
Matera just grabbed it. Now they're going to bring the ball back. Braun had it, but advantage wasn't paid.
And Matera's been taken from the ground. Will be replaced by Philip Reid.
More as a precaution, I'd suggest.
Yes.
He's on a short fuse at the moment. Peter Matera. Meantime, Banfield goes across the ground. This is Stone coming away from half-back, boots it up towards midfield. Lovell hit the ball hard, nicely done. Evans took a while, feeds it off to Kemp. Kemp kicks towards half-forward. Philip Matera, he's already kicked 2. Missed at that time. Harding the crumbs. Greg Harding, high kick back towards the wing. Clement goes in front. Oh, what a good mark. And that would have hurt coming down.
It's an important play from Dennis. He's got pace and a bit of body strength, clean ball handling.
Great grab, look at it again. Strength, meantime at half forward. Crashing in was Kemp. Ball up. It's about 60 metres out. Dean Kemp, one of a handful of players to have played in every Western Derby. Averaging 22 possessions over the previous 6. High was McManus. This is Waterman. Getting close to quarter time. The Dockers showing a lot of spirit. Bandy didn't have the ball. Evans kicks to midfield. Lovell almost. Will swooping across. Nicely done. Good use of the body. Cleared a path. Bond to Harding. Can they get a late goal? Puts the ball out in front of a teammate. Coops. Right on the 50 to Sinclair. Drifting back is Callahan. The ball goes in his direction. In from the side, McKenna. The fist, not the best, but eventually weight of numbers tells the story.
He doesn't want it, Bluey.
Got it to McKenna. McKenna got it back from McIntosh. But he gave it away. Coops puts it back in. McManus beaten by Jakovic.
Too big and too strong. McManus has been lively though on the forward line. Playing in front is Fraser Gehrig. Too tall also for Harding. Feeds it off to Banfield. Seen that a few times already. The kick's a poor one. Matera playing in front goes to ground. Reid on the ground. Back to Lovell, goes short. Chance for Lewis, game 200. Braun picks it up, runs into the open goal. Bangs it through.
That's where they've been so critical, as Dennis said. Every time they've gone inside 50, they've scored. They look very dangerous, West Coast. They've made full opportunity out of the times they've gone that far. Conversely, Dockers would have been inside 50 far more times in this quarter, just unable to get the score on the board. Their work rate's been admirable. They just haven't been able to use the quality.
Michael Malthouse coming around the boundary. Not often you hear a hostile reception for Michael Malthouse at Subiaco Oval, but he copped one then as he came down from his coaching box. Roundly booed. According to my calculations, if the Eagles win this, that's win number 200 in the AFL for Mick. Fletcher to Harding. Callahan. Clock running down. They're just about out of time. 10 seconds remaining in the term. They've tried hard. Clement 75 metres from goal. They need a mark. We're down to 4 seconds. Ball hangs in the air. McKenna did enough. Wait for the siren. Well, that's a heartbreaker for the Dockers. You feel they put their heart and soul into that for about a quarter of an hour, and they're behind 5 straight goals to 4 behinds.
Yes, you could say it's meritorious, but if you're not getting in here on the scoreboard for your effort, then it's disappointing, because you've done everything right. You've matched up, you've worked hard, you've got in and under in the packs, you've hit them with body, and you've got inside your 50 and giving yourself a chance to score, and frequently for no result.
Get the feeling the Eagles are enjoying this as well. Local pride, local bragging rights on the line. It's 5 goals straight to 4 behinds at Subi in the Western Derby. Another slow start for the Fremantle Dockers. They're averaging 7 points per first quarter through round 3. Held to 4 this afternoon. The West Coast Eagles getting 5 goals. 2 apiece to Braun and Matera, the goal kickers, as Jared Neesham chats with his men, and obviously a few points need to be made. They did try their heart out, no question about that, for about 15 minutes, but breaking down up forward. By contrast, that man with spring in his step, St Kilda and Adelaide playing this afternoon at Waverley. And the Saints, coming off a bad loss, are up by 13 points at halftime there against the reigning premiers, Adelaide, 6-7 to 4-6.
The 1998 AFL Premiership season proudly brought to you by Telstra, making life easier. Victoria Better for a hard-earned thirst. Cadbury Mark of the Year and McDonald's, official restaurant of the AFL.
Adrian?
Dennis, plenty of emotion in this game. Unbelievable at quarter time there, and most of the emotion at the umpires. Both coaches pumped up. They're just filthy about the decisions, the Dockers, for some reason. And Peter Mann going over to chat to him. Umpires under a lot of pressure at the moment.
Ball at half forward for the West Coast Eagles. Harding gets a free kick, chips it out wide. Burton has to wait. That's a gutsy good mark. Plays on, chips it up towards half forward, and Bandy. Bandy's away. Bandy 65 metres out, goes looking for Clement, and that's a good mark. Real good mark.
Yes, much more decisive. At quarter time, free kick were 8-3 in favour of West Coast. That's maybe why Neesham was upset. But he's a player who can give you something in the forward half. Plays a little bit taller than 190, and as I said, has the pace and the footy brain to go with it to take control across half forward.
James Clement, sharp angle. They've missed the easy ones. They've got a hard one. It's a Docker house.
I know they talk about Spider Burton might be underdone a bit, Roscoe.
Yep.
But I'd leave him on the ground. I think that every time he's on the ground in that first quarter, in that first 15 minutes, he was a very influential player. I think you've got to throw caution to the wind and let him play in the ruck. You can use Bandy as that mobile forward. We can see how athletic he is at the moment. And I think that's the combination I'd go with. So the Dockers have their first goal. They trail by 20 points. Big Spider Burton at the centre bounce. Doing very, very well against Gardner. Again gets his fist to the ball. Taken away by Lovell, smothered. Evans, from a standing start, just pumps the ball back. There's a good mark to McGovern, the veteran. Started with Sydney way back in the early 90s. Goes wide, finds Gale. So it all opens up for the Dockers. Kicks the ball long, gets good distance. James Clement comes out in front. Too much carry again. Mann's got it, 35 metres out. Hooks it around the corner. Jakovic can't get there. Through for a minor score.
I have to say that breeze is freshened too. It's picked up quite strong now behind the Dockers. It was gentle in the opening term.
So 30 plays 11. McIntosh to bring the ball back into play. Kicks the ball long. Chance for McGovern playing in front. Outbodied that time by Evans, but he recovered well. Back to Dodd, who goes very short. Puts his teammate Fletcher under a lot of pressure. And here's Matera. Great smother off the boot. Tremendous play by Callaghan. Again, Matera goes to ground, maybe in the back. They'll ball it up.
KB, if a player is going for the football and wants it, gets it first, and is pinged from behind in the back, surely you've got to protect him, give him the free kick. That's just not McGovern. That's not just Callaghan today. Watch this again. Playmaker sat on. It's a free kick. You have to protect the player going for the football. That goes for both sides.
Kemp did brilliantly to Braun. To get through there, Dean Kemp. Gardner back to Matera. Matera up towards the wing. Gehrig and Parker. What a clever mark. That was a clever catch.
That's why he averages 9 so far this season. He's been very good.
Had the presence of mind to keep his eye on the ball. Back goes Burton. Ball from behind. Great grab. Spider. To Bond. Up from the back pocket. Bond towards the wing. 2-on-1 for the Eagles. Well done, Evans. Got rid of Callaghan. Matera the mark. Short one is on. Lovell is about 70 metres from goal. 5 straight, the West Coast Eagles. 1-5 Fremantle. Lovell to Lewis, 60 metres out. Little centering kick. Gehrig is marked. He'll kick from right on the 50. And the distance, despite the breeze, not beyond him. Helping the umpire now. Very fastidious. It runs right through the middle of young Dodd's boot.
Well, you want to kick the goal now. He's been so dominant, hasn't he, at centre-half forward in the game so far this season. It's the player they've been looking for a number of years. As I said, he's averaging 9 marks, so to have someone in that forward half like that, complemented by ball at full forward, makes such a difference to your forward structure.
He's taken 6 marks already.
Fraser Gehrig from on the 50 miscues completely. And the mark is held by Bond. Crowd loved it. Chris Bond plays on. Spider will run it out if you don't mind. Chipping it up towards the wing at Callaghan. Beautiful kick. Callahan's away. He can run for some distance. Callaghan, his second bounce. Now he chips it towards half forward. Bendy is stretching. Can he get there? Close to the line. Bendy still going. Shakes one tackle. Confronted. Down he went. Ball very close to the line. Clement gets the spills. Hooks from an impossible angle. And has kicked his second. Miraculous goal.
Now the umpire, Dennis, the umpire saying, is he saying it's out of bounds?
I think it's going to stand.
Just watch this again. It was fantastic running by Bandy, who'd run from this side of the ground right across to that other flank. Got cleaned up. McManus keeps it in play a bit. Now the pick up here by Clement, well, he was out a little bit. The boundary umpire said all clear. It's a great finish. Well, Bandy had it out.
Well, a pumped-up Fremantle throwing the gauntlet down to the West Coast Eagles. Spider Burton, absolutely dominating player in this first half of football. As we see, Dodd goes forward in the second term. Chisholm's got it. Not paid. Slung off the ball, taken away by Fletcher. Great vision, finds Wills. Wills should run in from 45 metres out, should pick a goal. Andrew Wills, he slots it through.
Well, again, you can't sing the praises high enough of Spider Burton in the middle there. Again, giving his players first use. And young Dodd, who's done a terrific job so far, and Dean Kemp, I've mentioned that a couple of times. A huge task for anyone. Great respect for Dean Kemp, do I have. And Dodge just held him up a bit today. And Wills, under a tag from Banfield, has finished off well.
Well, this Pro Dockers house is finding some voice. Plenty of noise at Subi. The margin back to just 7 points. Rucks go at it again. Kemp at the base of the pack to Evans, who's been pretty good for the West Coast Eagles. Gets the hand pass away. Braun. He's booted 2 goals. Runs away. Great chase by Callaghan. Callaghan again. Inspired football. Parker. Now Bond. Here's Fletcher. Towards half-forward McManus. Good grab in front. Well, there's something about the Dockers at the moment. McManus is away, strong, Shepherd off the ball. Probing kick, big pack at the fall of it, fisted away, Jakovic. He's pursued, Jakovic throws it on the boot, it wanders back towards the outer side. Fletcher over the top, Dodd goes back after the crumbs, in goes the body of Kemp. Kemp still with the ball at his feet. Down goes Matera, close to the line. Dodd kept it alive, over the top. Throwing himself in was young Braun. Ball is out of bounds, and speaking of out of bounds, the last goal for the Dockers. Watch this again.
Yeah, it was already over the line. Yep,
no doubt about that. Worsfold meantime comes away. Lewis with the one hand, he's on the wing. Chris Lewis out towards half forward, untidy looking kick. Ball outnumbered. O'Reilly did well with the body. Gale is dragged down, ball up.
So ball up on the half forward line for the Eagles. 5 straight goals, 30. Fremantle 3-5-23.
Andy Lovell comes off for a spell, and Philip Reid on.
It's been an inspired Dockers side in this second term. This man, Spider Burton, is the catalyst. Again, gets his hands on the ball. Matera caught by Norwich. Well, a physical Dockers side today. Much different than the one that played in Adelaide last week. Lewis heads towards the boundary line. Let's go down to Adrian Barrich on the boundary.
KB, from down here, the passion and excitement is just enormous. This crowd's really lifting with the Dockers, and I've got to say, the Eagles are getting killed in the midfield. The pace is really hurting them.
Eagles by 7 points. So is that man, the Spider. Matera picking up kicks. Another great smother by Norwich. Great stuff by the Dockers. Back to Spider. There's a free kick.
Yes, against Matera, he threw Dodd to the ground after the great smother from Norwich.
How about this? The kid off the rookie list, taking it right up to some stars today.
So Spider from centre wing. Burton is looking for Bandy, pushing and shoving. Over the top was McManus at ground level. McKenna tried to feed it out to Matera. They'll ball it up on the half-forward line.
Matera needs to be very careful. He's getting very frustrated now. Don Pike is rather brave going alongside. He could drop one. So some of these tags are really working at the moment. Here's McManus again. Hurriedly smothered off the boot brilliantly though. Peter Matera towards half forward. Up in front was Parker. Laid the tackle on Lewis. Well done by Harding to knock it away from Gearing. He's got all the elements, this one. Most enjoyable.
Not often that Peter Matera gets booted home.
I'll take the credit for the .com there. The official AFL website. Boundary throw in. Knocked down by Gardner. Releasing Braun. Likely tight. Braun towards the pocket. In from the side down there and getting pretty high was McGovern. Was still alive initially. McGovern, was it deliberate? Yes, says the umpire.
Yeah, when you're so close to the boundary and you knock it out like that, you must look as though you're trying to knock it down the line. It's the interpretation these days.
Well, they need a bit of luck, the West Coast Eagles, after Clement did get the ball out of bounds at the other end, deep in a pocket. So ball, if he kicks this, he'll square the ledger. West Coast running on the spot at the moment. Jason Ball bending it back. It's a pretty good effort, but not good enough. Behind 5-1-3-5.
Eagles looking for some midfield ascendancy. Have brought Ben Cousins on. Philip Reid off.
The Dockers have kicked 3 goals in the second term. Trailed by 26 points at quarter time. Are now trailed by 8. Plenty of spirit in the Dockers today at Subiaco. Long bomb. Good distance at ground level. Fletcher feeds the ball off to Gale. Didn't find Callaghan. Banfield hit the ball hard. Again, Callaghan the tackler. Jakovic smack bang in the centre of Subiaco Oval. Back to Bluey McKenna. 2 old heads working together. Evans just pumps the ball back inside 50. Looking for the bounce was Matera. Thought he should have got a free kick from Bond. Coming away is Parker. Goes short and finds Dodd. Very impressive young player. Gives the ball back to Harding. Rockets the ball a good 15 metres to Gale. On centre wing, goes short and finds Bandy, who's very mobile across the half-forward line. All he has to do is make the right decision and pump the ball long. Unfortunately, not in the direction of Chisholm. He finds Bluey McKenna. Some rebound football. Back to Jakovic. Balancing bounce. Then kicks the ball back towards the half-forward line. Harding back. Showed a lot of courage. So good hands again from Bandy. Gets the ball back to Harding. They come away. Dodd again down to centre forward. Peter Mann. Good punch away at ground level. They need a crummer. Banfield pounced on the ball. The tackling from the Dockers is fantastic. McManus on hands and knees. Bandy trying to rip the ball out of the pack. They'll ball it up on the front edge of the centre square.
Problem they've had a couple of times with Bandy's getting kicks down on the wing. He's actually kicking back to where he should be. And Jakovic McKenna just forming that wall. They need someone to present further up the ground.
Well, it's for the World Championship of Perth and they're going at it. Bandy's in front. Turnbull thumps it down. Well played by Banfield. Knocks it onto his own advantage in the opposite direction. McGovern waiting over the ball. McKenna bumped off it. Socket off the ground again by McGovern. Following up. Over the ball, Chisholm kept it alive to Bandy, needed a kick. Bandy, Worsfold pushed off it by an old head in Fletcher, gets it to a young one in Dodd, and Dodd has kicked the goal. Dodd has got it.
And comes off for a well-earned rest too. Does Dodd replaced by Clucas. He's done an outstanding job on Kemp so far, Dodd, and just the ability here keeps it in play. A bit of a look away by Bandy there. Very lucky, but Fletcher good enough to deflect off Worsfold. And Dodd deserving goal and has a spell.
Dodd is off. They've kicked 4 goals, 1 this quarter to the Eagles, 1 point. I wouldn't take him off, Don. No good mollycoddling players when they're in good form. He's played a terrific game so far. Same with Spider Burt in the centre square. This is the most pumped up I've seen the Dockers. Ball tumbled forward by Harding. McManus has been good. Here's Bandy. He's been sensational. Wanted to feed it off. Back to McManus. Gets around Turnbull outside of 50. Long bomb. A great kick by McManus. It might squeeze through it wrong side. They're down by a point.
No question with Burt in the middle, contesting ruck and making them think twice. Bandy's providing a great mobile target across half forward. Maintaining momentum.
McIntosh, the errors are starting to come. McManus from the area of Turnbull. Ball half smothered. Kemp couldn't get the bounce he wanted. Thumped on further by Stone. The Eagles under a lot of pressure in this second term. And again we see the ball over on the half-forward flank for the Dockers. Listen to the roar around the crowd here at Subiaco Oval. They trail by a point, 4-6-30. West Coast 5-1-31.
This is a good game of football, this one. Boundary throw in down towards right half forward then. Interesting. Bandy doing the rucking. Burton took off and ran back to centre half forward.
That's the Sydney Swans setup, what they do with Stafford and Mooney combine. Stafford looks to take the throw in, then peels off his player as the ball's mid-air. Mooney comes over the top.
Obviously Spider thinks he can go away and hide. No one will see it. Now he's fallen over. So ball, the pickings. Going in solidly. Klukas taken high was Jakovic. Must get the free kick. The champ coming through, steamrolling through. Has the ball on the wing.
Not certain about this one when you got your head down.
He's still taking high, KB. You've got to play that.
We outnumber you, KB, but you're right. Kemp's dragged down on replay. It didn't look as convincing as perhaps it was. We've got a ball up down towards half forward.
Banfield comes off for a rest. He's had his work cut out with Wills. Reed back on again.
5-1 to 4-6. McManus, Dodd sitting down, two of the stars of the first half. Harding just hanging back off the pack, has got it again, and he's been a star. He's been terrific. Just look his figures up. He's had a lot of the ball. Harding, 11 possessions so far. Knowing your alphabet helps, KB. Thank you for that. So Banfield's off and a ball up.
So Spider Burt versus ball, then wins it at ground level. For a big man, he wins a lot of loose balls, Roscoe.
He's got a good footy brain. Just a long way to bend down to get to the ground like that.
31 plays 30.
He's had 10 possessions
Dennis,
under the bees.
At half-time in these derbies, has the Dockers ever gone in front?
No. They've led at only one break in the history of derbies. That was quarter time in the most recent one last year. By a point.
Burton, again, got his hands on the ball first. Matera thought he had it. They're going in hard. Wills over the top.
I didn't think you'd just been eating Easter eggs on the weekend, Ed.
So ball up, back edge of the centre square for the Dockers. This time ball over the top, taken away by Callaghan. Gets good distance, just thumps the ball back inside the centre square. Chisholm wants a bounce, couldn't get it. Going to ground was Wharf's fault. Gets the ball back, feeds it off to Cousins. Spent most of the game so far on the interchange bench down towards the half-forward line. Gale has got Lewis to beat. Feeds the ball back out to Callaghan with quick hands, gets it to Harding. So the loose player has been set up as Harding comes away from half-back, goes down towards centre half-forward. Good fist away again down that time by Worsfold. So they need a crummer. Kemp does well, gets the ball back to Schofield, comes away from the half-back line, kicks back towards Fraser Gehrig, who's been very good so far. He's taken 6 marks. This time we see Callaghan run the ball over.
Gehrig a bit stiff there, could have almost got a free. Boundary throwing out of side, just outside the 50. Eagles up by a point. Chisholm off. Daniel Parker on. Nisham ringing the changes. Lewis to ball. Smothered again. They've had about 5 effective smothers. Rail that time. Burton gets it across to Klukas. Parker just on the ground. Strong hands alongside the centre circle. Breaking now is Clement. The ball goes in his direction. A little too high. Clement turns, goes back. Mann wants to give it off to Clement. He's ridden into the ground, crashing in his Fletcher. Loose ball that's picked up by McIntosh. Well, not quite. Oops. In goes Bandy. Now Mann's got it. Feeds a hand pass away. Chance for Anderson. Dockers in front.
this quarter, an outstanding turnaround by the Dockers. We made mention of their work rate in the first quarter, that they got inside 50 and looked very dangerous throughout that first quarter, but just couldn't get a goal on the board. Conversely, this quarter they've just worked as hard, but inside 50 they've been dangerous, and they've made use of the ball. They've gone longer, something that we've been looking for some time. And Stuart Anderson, his first kick.
Well, the Dockers have kicked 5 goals in this second term. The Eagles haven't kicked a goal. They've kicked one behind. So out of the centre square, ball, trying to feed it off Matera, trying to work his way back into the game. Fraser Geary from behind, too good.
Not much you can do about that. You're in front, Shane Parker's doing the right thing, but height is disadvantaged by there. And Geary just a little bit of a leap and strong hands, telescopic arms, just plucks it out in front of Parker's face. Very poor kick the last shot he had.
So the All-Australian from 1997 from right on 50 has pushed it left. And out on the full. Listen to the roar. This has been an amazing turnaround. West Coast so dominant in that first term with 5 straight goals. The Dockers couldn't get a major. They've bounced out in this second term. You'd have to swab them. They were a racehorse after watching them against Adelaide last week. It's great to see. Norwich had a great duel so far with Matera. Tied up on the bounds line. Smart play by Geary. Kicks the ball in mid-air. It's been taken by Bond. Playing on Philip Matera. He's had 2 goals kicked on him. Both goals coming in that first term. Goes short and finds Parker. He's looking for O'Reilly, is it? Coming out from goals. No, it's Gale, who tries to set it up, kicks the ball to space. Hitting the ball hard. That was great play by Gardner. So it's a loose ball once more, but again, the Dockers went out through O'Reilly, who just bounced the ball back to Bandy. The high flyer was Turnbull. It's a loose ball on the edge of the centre square. Big pack of players. Dockers have been very good in close. Here's Jakovic, the great one. Tries to rocket the ball out wide, taken by McKenna, too slow. Hard in the tackler. They've gone up 3 cogs, trying to crash his way through. Jakovic on centre wing, 3 bounces. Sinclair the chaser. Jakovic inside 50. Bond gets back, can't take the grab. Chance for Geary, can't kick the ball off the ground. Hard up on the boundary line is Parker, thrown over, dumped on the ground. They'll toss it back in.
He had it a long time. Geary making that point. Harding is slow to get up on the outer side. He copped a nasty one. Well, he got the full revolution. About where the boundary line was. This is Cousins. Hurriedly onto the boots. At the post. Well, we've had a couple of finals here in Perth, Ross, but nothing to resemble this sort of atmosphere. Nothing at all.
As good a game as we've seen, as you say, atmosphere. The pressure's been fantastic.
That's great.
That's what we were looking for.
Yeah, and just great to have 2 sets of supporters back at the footy. On the outer side, Sinclair gave it away. The idea was okay. Boundary throw in. A drought for the Eagles since late in the first term. Ball and Burton. In front, Sinclair, anxious to make amends, up towards half forward. Brilliantly done, Worsfold. Full-chested, over the top was Sinclair. Spills wide to Waterman. Across the line it goes. Well, what a collision. Sinclair, who kicked the ball down, came on running, and watch this.
Oh, that's a free kick.
It is a free kick. You can't charge at a play like that.
It's a bad umpiring decision. Worsfold showing courage, going for the ball, and then being attacked by a player floating through mid-air, meeting him with the knee.
Callahan, the tough man, getting away from the trainer. He's okay. McKenna and Anderson struggle after the ball. Whistle.
36 plays 32. Harding coming off. McManus coming on for the Dockers.
And Worsfold, I think, has to go off the butt. Well, I think Grant Vernon's looking at him now, trying to wipe it away. Yeah, just the left eye in the corner, just a nick. You're right, Kevin, though. You can't charge a play like that. As much as it looked good for the crowd, the fact is that you've got to protect the player with the footy. And particularly when a player jumps up in the air like that and makes contact, there's got to be a free.
Well, you must protect the guy playing the ball.
Exactly.
Worsfold had his eyes only for the ball. Lucas also coming off, and Dodd comes onto the ground. Barrow down on the boundary boundary line.
Yes, KB, I've never thought I'd see this in Perth, but John Worsfold has just been booed off the ground. In fact, he got a standing boo, if that's possible. He's got a cut over the eye and may need a stitch, and he'll probably just go through to the second half on the bench.
Well, he's lucky to be still standing on his feet. Burt, just too tall, just dominating the hit-outs. Big pack of players on the point of the square.
It's the only player that might be, a person that might be happy with that was Tony Bahagia, who thought in the paper this morning that someone needs to match the half of John Worsfold. He's got his wish.
So Fletcher just pedals the ball along in front. Schofield had it, lost it. Again, McManus has just come off the interchange bench. Sinclair keeps the ball alive. Fletcher gives the ball back to Spider.
There's a bit going on.
McManus and Schofield are still playing outside the boundary.
Bandy was the high flyer.
Now, they're wrestling, and they've been wrestling for quite a while. Could hear more about that.
Yes, they're actually outside the boundary line.
Is that a wrestle, Roscoe, or...?
That's just a exchange of strength.
Is it a fair comment, Roscoe, that in previous encounters the Eagles have been too physical for the Dockers? Their presence, their
That's
physical
correct,
presence.
yeah, and they have been just a better side
Better
finishing
side
off.
as well, but
This is the best the Dockers been able to maintain that sort of intensity.
Here's Geary. David by the bounce, breaks away, loves this situation. 75 metres out from goal, turns the defenders around. Matera could have got a free, I thought. Nothing doing. Pond going back on him. Gale picks up the ball, chips it out towards half back, and it bounces away from McGovern across the line. Bad luck for the Dockers. Had it stayed in, McGovern could have taken off. Watch it again.
There's no eye on the ball whatsoever by Bond, and just pushes him down.
definitely a free kick.
I'm sure you'll hear more about that.
Boundary throw in. Backhanded down by Gale, taken by Callahan, playing his heart out. He loves it tough. Bandy falling to the ground to Fletcher. Look away, hand pass intended for Anderson, knocked away by Waterman. Boundary throw in, inside 3 minutes to half time.
Chris Lewis off for a spell in his 200th.
Callahan 13 possessions.
And a couple of fantastic chases, smothers and tackles.
Daniel Bandy has shown enough today to suggest that with a bit more experience he could be a star in AFL football.
That's in half forward maybe.
Absolutely. With Spider in the ruck. McGovern from Callahan from centre wing. Kicks the ball long. Spider stands his ground. Jakovic. Was it Jakovic down there? In fact, it was Ball. He's able to force it wide. So Jakovic comes away from half back. Again, trying to set it up. Wants to be a playmaker from half back. Gives it across to Lovell. Norris still wearing Matera like a glove. It looks like he may have ran over the line. So good play by Jason Norris.
Just pressure.
Who had the presence of mind to keep Matera from getting to the ball at the same time forcing Lovell wide.
And Spider Burton's off for a breather. Scott Chisholm on.
Well, I'd leave him on. Dockers by 4 points. Bandy now doing some ruck work across the half-forward line. Wooden. Again the tackler. Gale.
In fairness to Spider Burton, Kobe did look pretty weary.
They're professional footballers, Roscoe. You're supposed to get tired.
Banfield and Lewis throwing in out his side. Ball thumps it down. Kemp again. Dodd right there. Brawns over the ball. Callahan to tough hombres and the ball up. Well, what a game it's been. Defying the critics. The Fremantle Dockies undermanned have thrown everything at the West Coast Eagles and lead by 4 points within the shadows of half-time. If half-times have a shadow. Free kick on the outer side. It's going to Ball. Jason Ball. On the ball. He kicks down towards half-forward. Gehrig's the target, and why not? Parker knocked it away. Who's got the recovery? The Dockers initially, but Kemp socketed it towards Gehrig. Gehrig can straighten onto the left foot. 20 metres out and closing. Eagles back in front.
Well, they've scored their only goal for the quarter very late. And they just had to, at some stage, get that goal. They just keep persisting in that area. And Gehrig just able to break free from Parker, who'd run out of gas and couldn't chase to run him down. He's had a couple of opportunities this quarter, Gehrig, to kick goals from said shots. Gets that one on the run.
2 goals for Fraser Gehrig. West Coast by 2 points. 38 plays 36. Been so good across that half-forward line. Bandy jumps early, got his hand on the ball. Wills tried to crash his way through, flexed the muscles, blew up the biceps, gets it across to Norris, gives the ball back to Fletcher. Here come the Dockers once more. Again, a free kick is being paid. Not downfield, Chisholm wants it, but it's going to come back to Adrian Fletcher.
Fletcher kicks the ball and then is pushed in the back after he kicked that ball, so it's coming back to him.
So the lead from James Clement was ignored. Fletcher, virtually on the point of the centre square, he's looking to set it up, kicks it to 2 Eagles players, and they raffle it. And bingo, the lucky number is 17, Bluey McKenna. So a poor kick by Fletcher. McKenna kicks the ball wide, he's looking for Cousins. Just outplayed McManus. Cousins. Bang, crash. Schofield runs into McManus. He's run too far as well. So a lot of things going for the Dockers in this second term. McManus short. Norris. He's good 60 metres out from goal.
Goes short to Anderson.
Man's in the square. Clement also on the lead once more. Again, it's been ignored. He's going to pump the ball long. So a chance for Peter Mann. Wills, the high flyer, as the siren sounds. Tremendous half of football at Subiaco, with the Dockers kicking 5.
To start the third quarter for the Dockers.
Well, in the context of their respective seasons, this could be a big turn. The West Coast Eagles at times in that second quarter, for the first time really in a Western Derby, looked a little rattled as the Dockers applied great pressure, but the West Coast Eagles have known that sort of pressure before. Can the Dockers sustain it? Great half. Hopefully another one coming up.
And again, the Dockers spare man in defence, which this time is Mark Gale, which leaves Guy McKenna spare for West Coast on their half-back line.
Vernon, Struth and McInerney are umpires. Start of the second half. A surprising Western Derby so far. Thrilling affair, tough affair. Rucks go at it. One down by Gardner. Schofield missed the ball. Gardner grabs it. He doesn't. He kicks it out towards right half forward. Cousins started on the bench. Has it about 65 metres from goal. Dangerous time, you sense, for the Dockers this one. Cousins short. McKenna pushing up. Has it right on the 50. The Eagles have had a chance to go and regroup. Their pride has been pricked. In the first quarter hour here, the Dockers need to hold. McKenna holding onto the ball. Centering kick now. Beautiful kick. Braun, who's got 2. 35 metres out. That's the start they wanted.
Good running by McKenna. He was the player, as I said before this bounce at the start of the third quarter, that was free across half-back. As the Eagles went forward, he just inched his way down and found some space on half-forward to receive the ball from Cousins, and then just waited and just kicked that ball across ground. 2 players free, Braun and Schofield. Got to match those up.
Well, he's been such a good player for 10. 3 goals to Braun. Terrific start for the Eagles in this third quarter. Spider Burton again getting his hand on the ball first. It's all tied up in the centre square. Gardner just tried to flick it out towards Kemp. They're hunting in numbers. Gardner with strength caught. Good tackle by young Sinclair. Taken away by Wood and gives it back to Braun. It's been very good since the first bounce. Going to ground was Cousins. Harding has the ball half smothered off his boot by Evans. Braun back to Wood. A couple of youngsters putting their mark on this game. It's a beautiful long kick deep into the forward line. Kemp, great roving off the pack. Flicks the ball out. Here's McKenna. Wills, happy to take it through.
Great roving by Dean Kemp. Just outstanding to see. Gets to the fall of the ball there. Just floats through evasively and then still gets a chance to put the ball out in front of McKenna, who only needed a bit of a half volley scoop.
Parker to bring the ball back into play. This third term so important for the Dockers. They were great in that second quarter. He gets the hurry up. So he kicks the ball long, goes for distance, looking for Burton, knocks the ball on out of the hands of Gardner at ground level. Burton just tried to bring the ball back in, knocked out that time by Gardner as well. They go to ground, Braun over the top, taken away by Fletcher, feeds the ball up out wide, finds O'Reilly, who kicks the ball down towards the half-forward line, looking for McManus playing in front of Waterman. Bandy, who's been so good across the half-forward line for the Dockers. Again, the ball just kicked out off the ground that time by Worsfold. And off the boot there of a Docker. And the free kick will go to the Eagles. And Matera, who just had the 4 possessions in the first half. It's a bad mistake by Matera. He's been under pressure from that man with the ball, Norrish. Didn't hit a target, and Bandy, he's got Jakovic to beat. McKenna lends a hand, he goes to the ground, they pile on top.
Sometimes, KB, a kick is so much more effective when you're in that situation, particularly if you're handballing to someone on a 50-50 score. You've got to get the ball long to get some effort. Reward for that effort and getting the ball there in the first place.
West Coast by 9 points. They're led by 26 points at quarter time, 2 points at half time. Reid just tumbles the ball forward. Kemp, he's had Dodd to beat all day. Might be just starting to get on top early in this third term. Gehrig's got it.
Well done by Parkhurst to hold him up. He had to drop back to pick up Phil Matera, then saw the ball coming in short to his immediate opponent. Had to make up ground to take him on, just hold him up, which allowed Bond to get back onto Philip Matera.
8 marks to Fraser Gehrig, coming up for his 12th possession. He's already kicked 2 goals. And he has drilled it.
Well, he's certainly been the most dangerous forward as a permanent forward alongside Braun, who's come up from midfield to shoot goals here. The class of Dean Kemp, very hard to keep him quiet for a full game. Dodd's been terrific for the first half. Just this opening 3 or 4 minutes of the third, Kemp's been at it, right at the fall of the footy. And Gehrig finishes off for him.
Centre square infringement. As a result, the Dockers go forward. Dodd inside the 50. Waterman falling to the deck. Down goes Jakovic. Man against the tide. It spills back to Anderson. Nicely played. The hand pass a little too slick though. Worsfold runs onto it. Twice off with the blood rule in the opening half. Kicks to the wing. McGovern dropped it. Got the presence of mind to knock it across to Wills. Wills across the ground. The Dockers queue up. Reid, brilliantly done. Stole it from Anderson. The youngster towards half forward. Tapped away from Bond by Matera. Bond taken to the ground. Left the ball behind. Over the top on his knees, Matera. Now Parker goes back to the voice supplied by O'Reilly. Smothered off the boot. Big Spider didn't have the ball. He was taken down. Cousins gets it across to Wooden. Wooden pushed off the kick. Good enough. O'Reilly gets low down to mark it, just centimetres from the turf. Big Spider, a bit stiff there. Parker running away from half back. Gehrig in pursuit. 2 speedsters. He kicks it up towards the wing. McManus couldn't complete the mark. This is Peter Matera. Pulls it back towards centre half forward. Cousins up. No mark. McGovern on his knees. Slaps it wide. Ball has it to Cousins, who fumbles. Harding got a hand in there. Norrish nicely done. Dodd comes away.
Time for think music. Gets it across to Callaghan on the edge of the centre square. Deep into the forward line. James Clements out in front. He's got it. They're kicking the ball longer, and under pressure they're also getting their boot to ball.
Yes, and that one handball to give off and then get the ball forward and kick long is all you need. You don't need to go to a 3rd and 4th handball. And when they've done that, that instinctive first handball then gone long, it's been effective.
James Clement kicked 2 goals in the second quarter. He'll be kicking from 45 metres. Plenty of goal space. The Dockers need to drag one back. He bangs it through. He's kicked 3 goals.
That's something they needed to steady just to keep themselves in touch. As if the Eagles were just going to take this away in the first 5 minutes, doing all the attacking. Once they got inside 50 this first time in the third quarter, unlike the first quarter, are there for a fair bit of time, just couldn't score a goal. They look dangerous. And Dodd again, just running off Kemp, and Callaghan always uses it well.
margin 9 points. Eagles in front. Rucks go at it. The scoring end has been the end of the right. Scramble, ball up. There you go, www.afl.com.au. That's the official AFL website. Gardner knocks it down. Wooden comes away, kicks it towards half forward. In front, Cousins. Schofield is cruising past. Here's trouble. Schofield runs inside the 50, measures the kick and finishes beautifully. Great goal.
So important out of the centre, isn't it, to get that first opportunity going forward. And if your forwards are in front with those quick kicks that come quickly out of the centre area, watch this, just a quick one by Wooden under pressure, but Cousins had the front posse on Harding. Whilst Harding guarded him pretty well, the assist came from Schofield, who knows this game, this ground very well. Very correct player, Schofield. Very neat. Good finish.
Eagles by 15 points. Throwing out the challenge to the Dockers. The roar goes around the ground at Subi. A local derby. Burton down to Sinclair. Quick kick out of the centre, down towards centre half forward. Bandy. This time the big fist of Jakovic at ground level. Lovell just shoveled it out to Worsfold. It's a hurry kick back towards the half forward line. Gehrig, the danger man, been so good. He's booted 3. Dodd looks to be an impressive young player. Sinclair goes short and finds McManus.
Wasn't that cool?
Oh, just to take on Gehrig and have the presence of mind to keep the ball in control.
McManus has been good today. His tackling's been superb. The kick's a poor one, marked by Jakovic. Big spider coming off the ground. Stephen Coops to come on. Jakovic deep in defence, goes short and finds Gehrig. Couldn't drag it in. He's taken 8 marks today. The ball comes out wide to Norris. He's done a great job on material to McManus. 65 metres out. Peter Mann's just had the one touch. The skipper's got it. He's lost it. He's got it.
Yep. He's had few opportunities to lead from full forward and receive the ball like that. He's had to go wide. He's going to test him this kick. That breeze certainly has freshened. Possibly looking at 2 to 3 goals in favour of the Eagles.
Well, it's a very tough angle. He's kicking from outside the arena. This will be a miracle goal if he can slot this through. Peter Mann just pops it up across the face. Bandy sandwiched in between 2 Eagles, gets his fist to the ball. They'll toss it back in. 57 plays, 42. So a chance for the Dockers. Jakovic will do the ruck work with Clement. Anderson goes to ground. They'll ball it up just 25 metres out from the Dockers' goal. Jared Neesham, I think, would be pretty happy with the effort so far of his side. Long way to go in this game. Worsfold just tried to crash his way through. Back to Jakovic. Cool head under pressure. Back to McIntosh. And the Eagles are away.
Interesting situation on the outer side. Matera takes on Norris and beats him. Peter Matera searching run around the outer side wing. O'Reilly gets on the end of the short pass intended for ball and knocks it across the boundary line. Let's go down to Adrian with some news on Drew Banfield, who came off in the first term and hasn't reappeared.
Yes, Dennis, it's confirmed the Eagles have lost him for the rest of the game. Drew Banfield out of the game, and it looks like it's a groin strain, so it's a big blow for the Eagles.
Thrown in outer side. Ball up, Sinclair under Lovell. Gardner and Bandy will go at it again. Ground in glorious condition. Bright sunny day, temperature in the low 20s. Here's Fletcher. Short kick towards midfield and Anderson. Can he control it? Yes, he can. Takes on the tackler. That was ambitious. Cousins got him. Wooden to Worsfold. Kicks inside the 50. Oh, well done, Parker. Shouldn't have done that. Cousins got him. Bond bounces off a tackler, it needs a kick. Wills up towards the wing, Sinclair couldn't control it. McKenna charges at it. Lovell lost it, confronted. It comes across to Waterman, to Ball, short one out to Wooden. And Wooden is marked right on the 50. Well, Parker had done the hard work. He should have stopped. Now Wooden, drafted from Canberra, arrived last season, has found a niche in this team from 55. Not a good kick. How will it bounce? Through for a behind. Stretches the lead of the West Coast Eagles. Out to 16 now. 16 points their lead.
Chisholm on to replace Harding. Harding was taken off the ground just before half-time after a pretty heavy fall.
Chisholm just the one touch in the first half as Wills goes wide and finds Norrish from the half-back flank. What a duel he's had with Peter Matera. Kicks the ball down looking for Bandy. He was so good across the half-forward line in the first half. Does well on the half-back line. Pumps the ball back towards the half-forward line. Coming out hard as Stone takes it over. 9-4-58 West Coast, 6-6-42 Fremantle. Major goal kickers, Fraser Gehrig has 3, so does Michael Braun, and James Clement has 3 for the Dockers. Lovell, all tied up by Clucas. Schofield comes away from centre wing, kicks down towards the true centre half forward position. Chisholm in defence, played the first half on the forward line. Bond just threw the ball out, been taken by Cousins, back to Matera, Philip Matera, back to Cousins, quick snap off target.
Yes, and Andy Lovell saying I was free in the square, and Ben Cousins just acknowledging that now, realising he should have looked towards the top of that square. Easy to say from here. Just watch this again, just the 1-2 from Matera, and then Cousins looking for goal. Lovell, you haven't quite seen him there, but was just at the top of the square on his own.
Parker kicks the ball wide. This is close to the boundary line. It's out on the full. Kemp chips it in, finds Matera. Phillip kicked 2 goals in the first quarter playing on Chris Bond. A real goal sneak, an opportunist.
Just wonder whether Adrian Fletcher might have just got his in the road there. Perhaps a bit too much carry on the footy for him. He'll be kicking from 45 metres. Just taking his time, doing up the boot. The Eagles at half-time led by 2 points. They now lead by 17. And maybe he can extend it to 23. Philip Matera. Just under 9.5 minutes of action left in this third quarter. Matera from 45 metres. It's missed.
The West Coast Eagles looking better and ominous at the moment. Wills to bring it in. They need a nice takeaway and perhaps a score at the other end just to settle things down. Bandy had it fisted away. That's holding the ball. Wooden. Good tackle by Clucas. Matthew Clucas, left half back. Half distance kick towards half forward. Jakovic in front of Clement. About going across the ground, now pods it up towards the wing, and Cousins, he needed to mark that, but it was 1 against 3. Cousins on the wing, gives it away. Chisholm towards the wing, and Schofield hitting the ball hard. McKenna behind. Sinclair grabs it now. He was the target of that kick. He gets the cross to Clement. Clement forward of the wing. Kicks inside the 50. Coops came on the lead, got his hand to the ball. It runs free behind. Gale paddles it towards the boundary line. And across it goes. Adrian.
Then it's just one of the great contests between in the Eagles forward pocket between Phil Matera and Chris Bond. I tell you, the young kid's learning a lot from Bondi, but just a fantastic contest, one of the best I've seen.
So a chance for the Dockers with this throw-in, some 45 metres around from goal. Parker got his hands on the ball first, then taps it on, looking for Clement, who's booted 3. Waterman applies the pressure, kicked off the ground by Clement. That's out on the full. So a bit of bad luck there for the Dockers.
Got to try and hold it up here and perhaps get a score out of the situation they can, just to rebound it.
Waterman kicks the ball back. He was looking for ball. Lovell beats Sinclair, then drills it forward. Fraser Geary on the lead, quick hands. Back to Andy Lovell, comes away from centre wing, chips it in short and finds Wooden. So Cousins is lurking in the goal square. The lead is on. It's a great kick. Chisholm can't get there. Cousins has got it.
Played the mark. They certainly had control of it, Ben Cousins, and with the way they've played the marks today, that had to be played. In control.
Still a tough angle, but he is a goal kicker. Finds Fraser Geary. There's certainly been a star on the forward line. 10 marks today, 3 goals, coming up for his 14th possession.
Just a different angle on the Cousins mark. See, that controlled it all the way. Too late was Chisholm.
Fraser Geary. Gain from 45 metres with his trusty left boot. He rams it home.
Well, just their running ability to find some space then off half-back from the out of bounds in the full situation on the half-back line for the West Coast. They were to get that ball forward, move it along, find targets. Each time they delivered the footy, running plays into space, and then it finishes up with Geary. And he's been their most potent forward without question.
Cousins has been lively in this term. Fraser Geary has put 2 goals in the quarter, 4 for the game. 10-6 to 6-6. Bandy beaten by Ball, hurriedly out of the centre by Sinclair. Run towards half foot. It was knocked away by McKenna. Socket off the ground by Worsfold. Out to the boundary. Well, the Dockers so good in the second term. Struggling to find the passion again here. Anderson off. McGovern on. McGovern going directly onto Cousins. Chisholm being sent away. Fletcher dragged down. So Chisholm is going up front now. At least onto the ball. He'll drift in on the right of screen in just a moment. No, he won't. He's staying off. There he is. Staying off the pack.
Yes, in fact, Parker's been pushed forward.
Ball into the path of Braun. Still Braun. To his own advantage. Good chase from Fletcher and Gale. But Braun gained about 35 metres along this members wing. So a boundary throw in down towards right half forward for the West Coast Eagles, who lead now by 24 points, 66 to 42.
Rest for Daniel Bandy. Spider Burton on to contest his boundary.
Ball indicating over the back. There he goes. Trying to lay it down into the path of Schofield. Nothing doing. Sharked by Fletcher. Chisholm has it. Wants to run. He'll take on Worsfold. No, he won't. Throws it in reverse. Comes back. Nothing on down the ground. KB, you spoke of this before. Eventually he kicks for space. Out comes man. Crunch the pack. 2-on-1. But the one does very well. That's Wooden. Brilliantly played. Wooden comes away. Run down. That's holding it, umpire. Hand passed it away. Wills grabs the hot potato. Snaps and misses. Well, prior opportunity is always a very strange thing.
Yes. There was plenty of that there.
Would have thought so.
Yes, unlucky there, the Dockers. It was a free kick, no doubt about that.
Gardner off for a rest and Chris Wills back on.
McIntosh comes away from full-back. Finds Stone. It's on the half-back flank. 66 plays, 43. The Eagles by 23 points. to Waterman. Kicks down, looking for Kemp.
Free kick, pushing the back.
Gives away the free kick.
Interesting to see. He certainly went forward, Kemp, but whether it was his own momentum or a bit of a nudge, it's hard to tell from where we are here.
Maybe a bit of experience. Kemp to centre half forward. Why not? Because Gearing's there. He's been a star. Sinclair pounced on it. Wants to transfer the ball towards the outer side. Under pressure. Kicks a high ball. McKenna showed courage. So did Fletcher. Bond. Those quick hands back to Fletcher. Sets Bond up. He's got McKenna to beat. Throws the ball out in front. They want holding the ball. Cousins traps it on the line. And now they'll toss it back in.
They've let a lot of free kicks go. No question about that. They could have played another 20 so far.
Burton and Ball do battle on centre wing. McKenna tried to flick it out. McManus at ground level. It's all tied up. And they'll bounce. The Dockers will come home to the scoring end. Subiaco stand in the final term. They lock horns once more. And over the top came Turnbull, puts it straight back over the line. Adrian Barrage with some news on the boundary line.
Yes, KB, the crowd figure 34,557, 34,557. A record low crowd for a derby, understand, but certainly one of the best atmospheres.
That's a surprising figure. It does seem more as Callahan dives on top of the footy.
That's surprising.
We'll have a ball up.
I think he's typified, particularly in the first half, Craig Callum. That sort of effort, the footy, what's required by the Dockers as a team to match it with the better sides.
10-6 to 6-7. 3.5 minutes till three-quarter time. Burton goes up. They've been knocked down by Ball. McManus falling to the ground, got it to Sinclair. Hurried kick, Clement got in front, did well, was pushed in the back, says the umpire. Well, he worked hard for that spot, no question. James Clement has booted 3 goals, kicks for space and Wills under the ball, man behind, knocked away by McIntosh. Peter Matera picks it up, heads for the boundary line and runs it out just outside the defensive 50. Matera frustrated early in the game, hasn't seen a lot of the ball. Jason Norrish has been there most of the day. Dockers needing a goal now though. Turnbull and Parker. Parker towards Norrish. Norrish hasn't got the ball. Off the ground by Turnbull. Out towards the boundary line. Sinclair running hard in this term. Just got out of the road. Out of bounds. Boundary throw in. Charging in was Schofield. Eagles bench. Gardner sitting down. And a throw in on the outer side. Burton and Ball. Body to body. Burton won decisively to Callahan. Hooks it around the corner. Up was Parker. It falls in front. Lucas got it across to Coops. Now a chance for Callahan. Callahan has kicked a long goal.
It's the one they wanted, just to keep themselves in touch going to the three-quarter time break. Inside 50 once more, and this time better distribution of the footy to someone to the advantage. Not the closest player, but Callahan, the player furthest away and in space on his favoured left boot. Deserving goal.
Callahan's been good, 17 possessions and a goal, just under 2.5 minutes left. As Spider Burton thumps the ball 25 metres. Clement hits it hard, he's booted 3. Just outside of 50, pops it up, he's looking for the skipper. Man in front has the ball punched away by McIntosh. The loose ball comes back to the man, twists and turning, kicks the ball to the goal square, looking for coming across there, was looking for Gale, but wouldn't. Cleans up across the goal front. And a chance now for the Eagles to run the ball out, kicks the ball back to Matera. Offloaded his opponent in Norris. Sinclair showing plenty of toe. Matera weaving a bit of magic on centre wing, tried to get around the corner, unable to do so. Bang! Bond goes down, shaken not stirred. There's Sinclair, goes up towards the half forward line, been marked by Chisholm. They got the loose player set up wide. Gale, he's right on 50.
Important kick this, they've got to get something out of it.
Time clock ticking away, under 2 minutes left. Gale from 55 metres out. Kicks a big bomb. The distance is there. He's kicked a goal.
this last 5 minutes. A bit of pressure on the outer side and numbers around the footy. Chris Bond just kept his ground. And just the pressure on Matera there, 2-on-1 from Norris and Sinclair. A bit of an untidy kick from him. Bond cleaned it up. The ball ends up on their half-forward line. That's a great kick from Mark Gale. Very confident kick. From the Sumich pocket.
Well, it's been a marvellous game. It deserves a big finish. Hopefully we'll get that. 11 points the difference. Close to three-quarter time. Burton, who's been superb, knocks it down. Braun on his knees. Spills wide of the congestion. Waterman. They've managed a late goal in every term so far, the Eagles. Bond the crumbs around the corner. Gale dropped the mark. Great desperation by McKenna. Bond comes again. Chipped away from him. Norris has got the run of it though. Tries to burrow in Norris. Still Norris battles after the football close to the boundary line. Over the top McManus. Waterman's in there too as Neesham comes down to the boundary. 16 months younger than Michael Malthouse. Takes his seat with 43 seconds remaining till three-quarter time. His side down by 11 points. Burton was up to win it down. Going nowhere, McManus, but he's taken high. Sean McManus has been very good this afternoon. On and off the bench. He's forward of the wing. Dying seconds of the term.
So McManus kicks a long bomb. They're looking for the high flyer. Wills from behind McIntosh, who's been very good today, playing on Peter Mann. The Dockers skipper has had little influence on the game so far. Kicks the ball wide to Fraser Gehrig. Parker works his way to the front. Gehrig does well, but he's given away the free. Tough call.
See, that's a tough call. I didn't think there was much in that
Listen
at
to the
all.
boos going around Subiaco.
Things have fallen Fremantle's way a few times today. Gehrig just
Pretty good body movement for mine.
play on.
There's the siren for three-quarter time. Bit of controversy on the bell. West Coast 10-6-66. Take 11-point lead in the final term here at Subiaco. Fremantle 8-7-55. Stay with us. We've got a great last quarter coming up here at Subiaco.
three-quarter time here at Subiaco Oval in the 7th Western Derby. Spirited performance by the Dockers, slipping off the pace early in that term, came back strongly. They trailed by 11 points. West Coast Eagles 10-6-66. Fremantle 8-7-55. Fraser Gehrig quite outstanding. 2 goals in that term. The game's highest scorer with 4. At Waverley this afternoon, a rematch of last year's grand finalists, and it's the losers of last year who prevail this afternoon. St Kilda coming off a bad loss against Essendon last week at the MCG. Winners by 22 points, 12-10-82 to 8-12-60. Everything to play for. Jared Neesham no doubt can sense it. Interesting though, that breeze is backed around. It's now a sea breeze. The Fremantle Doctor is in, and it's blowing back towards the city end. So in the second term it freshened blowing down the ground left to right. Now it's running right to left. So a break for the Eagles as we go down to Barra.
Yeah, it could be an omen for the Dockers too, Dan. This is what it's all about. This is the actual, what do they call it? The Derby trophy, I guess. That's what they're all fighting for. And boys, I tell you what, this game is not over. I'll just get rid of this. This weighs a ton. The Dockers were very, very pumped up there. Never say die, they were saying. We're not finished yet. Let them know we're coming at them. Game's not over. Eagles' point of view, the boys saying, let's do it for Louis. 30 more minutes for Louis. That's all it'll take.
Thought you were going to fumble there for a moment, Adrian. You never were a fumbler. Listen to that roar around this ground. Adrian mentioned the smallest crowd for a Western Derby. Well, the noise they've made defies that. And also, in appearance, you've got to say, it looks close to a full house.
Where would they get the other 6,000, Dennis?
It's hard to say, isn't it? I mean, it really does look packed in. Still, we won't argue with the official attendance. The best for a Derby, as we said earlier, is over 40,000, 41,601 for the very first. Started the final term at Subiaco. The West Coast Eagles looking to keep their unblemished record against the Fremantle Dockers intact. They're up by 11 points. Gardner knocks it down, spills wide. McManus robbed of it. Fletcher falling to the ground. Evans got a hand pass away to Kemp. Kemp towards half forward. Full-chested Parker. It's surprising really. Gehrig has booted 4 goals, but Parker hasn't been hopeless by a long shot. And Chisholm going one-handed knocks the ball across the boundary line. Throw in right on the wing. Gardner there first. Now Burton bodies him up, but Gardner with the poise slaps it wide. Braun keeps it going the Eagles' way. Sliding in there Callahan. Taken by Fletcher. Spins out of one tackle. Goes looking towards Spider. Close to the boundary line. Braun out of bounds. Fletcher 16 possessions. Callahan 17. Burton 14. And umpteen ruck hit-outs. Will we get another one here? Yes, he does with the fist. Matera propped in front, could have been held, nothing doing. Kemp was held, I thought. Again, no free. Out of bounds. Throw it in, says umpire Stroop, only about 5 metres away.
Well, it's good play by Norris here to tackle both Matera and Kemp. That definitely was a free kick.
Gehrig 14 possessions, Evans 13, Warner's had 10, Kemp 12. There's Gardner, stood up in the tackle and threw it. Now, if the Dockers can get the opening goal of this final term, we will have mayhem in the PM, I think, down here. There goes the kick inside the 50. Coming up, Parker fell to ground. Wooden feeds it back. Worsfold brilliantly smothered off the boot by Wills. Weight of numbers, though, tells the story. Stone to the wing. Burton stood his ground, takes the mark. And they'll send it back in again.
Big Spider on centre wing. Will kick the ball back. He's looking for Parker. He's out in front of Stone. Too much carry on the ball. Bandy at the back of the pack. Parker recovers well, throws his opponent to the ground. Free kick will go to Waterman. So a wasted opportunity for the Dockers.
Well, that's a Tiggy Touchwood free kick compared to some of the others have been let go, but tidy by Parker anyway.
Veteran kicks it wide to Kemp. Young Dodge has had a great duel with Dean Kemp today. There's Gehrig.
It's 11 marks.
Been the star up forward, back to Kemp. So they're running the ball out of defence. They've taken it up towards the centre wing. Puts it up in front. Ball, put the long arms up. Couldn't take it. Lewis in his 200th game. Cousins, can he trap it right on 50? Kicked in mid-air by Lewis. Chance for Sinclair to paddle the ball along. Young Dodd has been very impressive. Back to Fletcher. So some rebound football by the Dockers out of defence. Kicks the ball wide. Chisholm this time. Mr. Casual, can he get it? Centre wing. Kicks the ball short. He's got 2 to pick out. He gives it to James Clement, who's booted 3. Long bomb inside 50. Peter Mann stands his ground in front. They need a crummer at the front of the pack. Worsfold pounced on the ball. Great play by the skipper. Gives it back to Jakovic. Borks weaves. Gets out of trouble. He's going to be caught by Wills. No free kick.
Had to be a decision.
Well, one or the other.
Away. Stone got the ball out wide. It comes back to McIntosh. Chips the ball up. Looks player set up. Gardner on centre wing. Norris is the chaser. Broad's going to be giving him plenty of support. Rockets the ball back to Evans. Centre wing on the half-forward line. The Eagles come forward. Chips it out in front. Looking for Cousins. Sinclair late on the scene. Cousins takes the grab on the half-forward line. 55 metres out. Philip Matera wants it short. Great lead. He's got it.
That's a terrible non-decision at the other end of the ground. It's either holding the man or holding the ball.
Yeah.
One or the other. Make up your mind, umpire.
Just a question whether he punched it or not, wasn't it? If he punched it to himself.
Philip Matera. Important kick early in this last term. The Eagles by 11 points. He's booted 2 goals in the first quarter. Looks good off the boot. He's banged it through.
Great kick.
Yes, and their ability to withstand the pressure in all circumstances over the years has been the hallmark of West Coast. Meritorious Fremantle have been so far, as we see a dual change here. Man off for Anderson, Evans off for Schofield. But West Coast have always been able to come up with that responding goal just to settle their own side down and put the opposition off.
So the margin is out to 17 points. Great poise by the Eagles. And the Dockers come again. Centre square infringement. Dockers way. Burton to get the free. Matthew Burton. Peterman is off the ground. Anderson on the forward line. Little chip pass up towards half-foot. Matera wanted it most. Peter Matera. Across half-back. The next goal is vital for either club. Matera very wide. Waterman runs to space. It was a beautiful kick. Waterman again demanding something of Schofield. In close attendance, Callahan. Schofield and Callahan. It comes to Turnbull. Bandy bearing down. Turnbull gets the kick. It bounces. It wobbles inside the 50. O'Reilly first back close to the line. Knocks it across. A chance for the Dockers to regroup.
Just see the Jakovic incident again. He gets around a couple of players here. The tackle there and then down to the ground.
Well,
give him the benefit there.
Did he punch it?
Well, that's the thing we couldn't quite see there.
They'll toss it back in 40 metres around from the Eagles' goal. Official AFL website. He's up to date with all the action. Cousins around the corner. He's off target. 74 plays. He's had 73 plays, 55. So the Dockers keep on coming. McGovern, they do need a goal. Callahan short. Deep in the back pocket. O'Reilly's going to be his target. He's got ball to beat. It's a one-on-one duel. Beats Norwich over the line. So a change of mind there by the Eagles. Looked like Nick Stone was coming off for young Reid and still might do so. Maybe a bit dangerous just to do it right here and now. Spider Burton to Fletcher. Puts the head down, just burrows his way out of trouble. Gives it across to Sinclair. Just forced back over the line. Stone now coming off. Young Reid coming on, playing on Anderson. So just a match up in size. Burton versus Gardner. forward flank for the Eagles. Gardner does well, then wins the crumb himself. Good tackle by McManus. Kemp with those quick hands back to Schofield. It looks dangerous outside of 50. Long pop to the square. It's got plenty of carry. This is a wonderful kick. What a mark! Fraser Geary has just plucked it out of the air. He has been a star, Roscoe.
It's very hard to stop. We mentioned that Parker's worked pretty hard, but just the height factor. A couple of times Gary's just marked from behind almost arrogantly. There's always going to be a difficult player to hold up with his fitness and form. As I said earlier, averaging 9 marks a match. He's just taken his 12th. Perhaps could have let that go, but you're never too sure in that situation.
Well, he made the All-Australian side last year and he's kicked goal number 5.
Yes, and they've really just broken away at the moment, but again, not a big score required here to beat the Dockers. That in fact ends up being the case. And they've always seemed to have the steady influence of someone around the ground, whether it be across half-back when they've gone forward. Someone will take a mark and kick a goal, or there'll be a steady mark across half-back to repel the Dockers.
So the Dockers just losing touch now. Eagles by 4 goals. Burton and Gardner. Gardner with the second attempt got it down. Sinclair, Callahan to Fletcher. Fletcher on the wing to Dodd. The youngster fumbles. One of his rare mistakes. Back to Fletcher though. Kept a cool head. Fletcher bounces the ball out of bounds at left half forward. Johnny Worsfold. Chris Lewis and his 200th. He struggled. Burton and Gardner, body to body again. Gardner again, winning when it counts. He thumps it up towards the wing. McGovern could have been held. He'll get the free kick. Andrew McGovern on the outer side. Chips in towards Dodd. The youngster doesn't let him down. Dodd still inside the centre square. Beat a man off the ground. Just a couple of touches for man today. Dodd into that revamped forward line. Wills the leaper. Matera the crumbs. Roving it brilliantly, goes with the outside of the boot. Perfectly done. Runs it out of bounds up towards left half back as we go down to Adrian.
Dennis, yes, talking about that revamped forward line, the Eagles have done the same thing. They've moved Jakovic to centre half forward because James Clement just had a little bit too much toe for him there.
Eagles by 4 goals. Burton again got his hand on the ball first. They tied up.
Just get the feeling Spider's getting tired now though, as they all are, but he's having trouble providing a lead a couple of times when they were coming out.
Bandy pushing and shoving along with Gardner. Knocked on by McKenna. It was clever play to Braun. Young legs. Chisholm the chaser. Reed pumps the ball inside 50. Good grab to Jakovic. Too big, too strong, too good.
Yeah, you summed it up, JP. Can't add to that. Heading for his first goal for the season.
So the champ will be kicking from inside 50. He's directly in front. And he can extend the lead to 5 goals. Jakovic pushes it left.
He's had a bit of the footy today, Glenn Jakovic, 11 and 5, but not the dominating sort, and I think his kicking, particularly in the first half, wasn't all that penetrating or effective.
Just over 12 minutes to go. Parker gets it to Callahan. Hasn't he worked hard? 20th possession coming up. Towards the wing. Anderson was in. So too Matera, thumbing it towards the line. Turnbull takes it across. Boundary throw in. Right on the wing. 12-8 the Eagles. 8-7 Fremantle. Fremantle led this game just before half-time. Burton clean possession, holding the ball surely, nothing doing. Anderson slips it away. Wills, that's holding it. Oh dear.
Very lucky of the Dockers there. Greg Scroope on both occasions. Burton the first time, Wills the second, allowing the player plenty of time to get rid of it.
And in a strange, convoluted way, did try and beat the tackler. Knocked towards the boundary by Gardner, who's starting to jump over the top of Burton. Let's get down to Barra.
Dan, plenty of advice coming from the Eagles bench for umpire Scroope there. Plenty of advice.
So a throw in. Burton this time fights back to win it. Bit of Matera, slips it away to Kemp. Kemp does nicely. Feeds Wooden. Now he can run to the 50. Callaghan bearing down, not in time, but Wooden pulls his kick way to the left. Before it goes for a minor score.
O'Reilly looking for Spider in front, or punch back over the line. He's had a great game today, Burton. 16 possessions and 5 marks, and has dominated the ruck. Just continually got his hand on the ball first. Well sharked that time by Norrish. He's had a great duel with Matera. Back to McManus, working his way back into top form. Kicks down towards the centre wing. Bandy holds his ground in front. Good flap away that time by Turnbull, but picked up by Gale. Kicks the ball to space. Out in front, he's looking for Clements. He's got McIntosh to beat. He's already beaten Man today. Clements booted 3 goals. They'll ball it up inside 50. So a big chance here for the Dockers. They need a goal, Roscoe.
Yeah, without question, that was an opportunity.
10.5 minutes of action left in this final quarter.
Clement had the right idea, holding front position, but no support.
So the Dockers can't take control. Reid just paddles the ball along in front. Braun didn't find the target in Turnbull. Kemp left it for McKenna. Some smart talking to Wooden. Looks an impressive young player to Schofield. He's been good all day. Kicks the ball out in front. He's looking for Stone. O'Reilly comes through hard, ties it up. Stone appeals for the free. Still a loose ball. McGovern does well back to Spider. He's on the half-back flank. Kicks the ball short. He's looking for Wills. It's a floater. He's got it. Andrew Wills, centre wing. He's got the loose player out wide, McManus, so he can run. Daylight second. Kicks down towards the half-forward line, looking for Chisholm. The Prince fires the ball back off to Gale, who kicks inside 50. Big chance, Clement out in front. Can't take it on the half volley. Good play by McIntosh with strength. Gives it across to Kemp. Gets the ball back to Waterman, who kicks wide. Great vision, because Worsfold's going to run onto the ball. He just needs a bounce. He's got it. Time for think music, then kicks a high ball down towards the half-forward line. Trying to make ground out there is Phil Matera. Just couldn't quite hang on to it. They'll toss it back.
Wasn't that great by McIntosh in defence?
Just to keep the momentum forward, the ball coming out of his hands. You go to the advantage of your teammate.
Like a cat he was.
Best form of his career, really, Ashley McIntosh.
Boundary throw in. Gardner decisively lays it down towards the pocket. Cousins. McManus got him down. The experience of Bond, close to the boundary line with a kick. Burton takes the mark. Loved his game today. He's tiring now.
It's going to have to be a good kick.
Precise? Yes. Callaghan, not much gain there. Callaghan in the opposite pocket. Goes back the other way. McGovern. McManus, meeting of the clans. McManus eventually traps it, kicks up towards the wing. Great courage by Fletcher. He's gone back in there. John Worsfold coming up behind him. And he would have been aware of that. He had ample time as he was going across the ground to suss it out. And gave the angled lead in front of Worsfold coming up. His insurance agent is being revived as we speak. Chisholm goes in. Gets it across to Wills. Wills forward of the wing. Hoists it down towards the pocket. Clement. Great mark. Well, he's quick because McIntosh made no inroads over the last 5 metres. Most unusual.
James Clement is in front and he's at full tilt. McIntosh was only a fingernail away from him. The other option there going forward was Bandy, who's run hard as Chisholm comes off, and Greg Harding back on. Philip Matera off the West Coast and Chris Lewis to finish the match.
Less than 8 minutes to go. Major kick this one. The margin at 25 points at the moment. It's been a while since their last goal. Clement trying to bend it back. He's got the golden boot this afternoon. Great goal. He's got 4.
It's been a good effort by James Clement up there to keep going. 12 kicks. And he's also just been the player who's been dangerous at that end, as Gehrig has been at the other. The limited opportunities he's had compared to Gehrig to take a mark like that, the ball coming in cleanly, it's been a terrific effort.
The Dockers still with a sniff, trail by 19 points, thumped out there by Gardner. Goes to Gehrig, he's been the star today. Booted 5 goals, Callahan comes back for the Dockers, he's been very good. Parker gives away the free kick. Jakovic, they break quickly. Gardner, centre wing. Callahan guards the mark. Ball on a long lead. It's been ignored. Gardner. It's a terrific kick.
Big
Finds
Spider's,
Schofield.
he's trying to run with him. Big Spider's trying to run with Scoey.
Subi teammates.
He's looking for Fraser Gehrig. At the back of the pack, kicks it off the ground. Kicked off the ground. It's a goal. Kicked by Waterman.
And weighted numbers again just telling on them. Spider Burton having to cover a smaller player, and as the ball goes forward here, Gehrig with the box seat sitting behind, keeps Parker out of it, gets a boot on it, and Chris Waterman summed that up beautifully. Again, that's the capacity of the Eagles. When the other side looks threatening, they can hit back and just settle it down.
Fraser Gehrig so good in so many ways. 5 goals this afternoon. Involved in that last one. Gardner thumps it down to Wooden, who storms out the centre again, sending it down towards the pocket, reaching over the top. O'Reilly thumped it away from ball taken by McGovern. Under pressure, puts it out of bounds on the full. Rawn will drive it back in. There's McGovern quickly to his feet. It seems the Dockers are gone. 6.5 minutes to go. They trail by 25 points, but not generating much up forward. Burton, almost the juggled mark. Gehrig, almost the connection. Off the ground by Kemp. And game number 200, Lewis runs into the open goal and seals it.
Yes, Spider Burton, he nearly got his second grab to it. And all it takes is a fumble. Watch this again. Right position, Spider. Just couldn't quite get the hand on it again, Gehrig. And then just losing control was Andrew Wills. Momentum through from Kemp. Chris Lewis sitting off the back of the pack. Off the pace. It's an easy goal.
Chisholm on for Burton. Gardner, 2 decisive tap-outs in this last minute or so of action. As Sinclair around the corner, still inside the centre square. Cousins gets the ball back to Matera. Goes short to Gardner. Just those 2 centre clearances by Gardner, very, very important.
Yep.
So Gardner, super talent. Again, kicks down looking for ball. Chipping across in front was Parker, did well. Showed a lot of courage. Wants to set it up. Back to Bandy. He's been called into the ruck from the half-forward line. Callahan rockets the ball wide. McGovern. The old 1-2 didn't really hit him.
Oh.
So he's under pressure now. It was a poor handball by McGovern. They want the free kick.
Gee.
And most unlucky not to get it.
Had to get it.
So there were shades of last week in that.
Dragged the ball in underneath. Bandy versus Gardner. Under 5.5 minutes left. Kemp can feed it off to Waterman. Goal number 2 coming up for the quarter. Hits the post.
Football can often be unkind. It's to be hoped now in the last 5 minutes or so that the Dockers aren't blown away, because they do deserve a little better. McManus to Parker. Shane Parker out of defence, up towards midfield. Not much happening up the ground though. Players reluctant to run. They're all very tired. Spills across to Cousins, hurriedly onto the boot, back inside the 50. Harding, who started so well, took a heavy knock. His hand pass a little untidy. Callahan comes storming through. Brilliantly done. The hand pass exquisite. Sinclair towards half forward with the kick. Well, who's there? McIntosh eventually comes up the ground. Good tackle by Dan Parker, got him down. Clement, the hand pass. Chisholm, the indecision. Norrish under the pump, goes to Wills. Wills under pressure. Great defence there from the Eagles. It goes to Parker. Parker held it in the one hand like a loaf of bread. Off the ground by Clement. He's got his bit.
Oh, gee, they make hard work of it. Great pressure by the Eagles back half.
Absolutely.
But on the same token, there's a couple of options taken by Dockers players which were the wrong one. And just fortuitously, Clement, the foresight to get that off the ground quickly.
Eagles by 26 points. 5 goals to James Clement. Bandy to Bond, goes to ground. .67 plays, 93. Bandy again. Wins the tap. Cousins. He's done some nice things since coming off the bench. Gale looking for Wills. Jakovic to Lewis, just thumps the ball on to Reid. Comes back through the centre square, kicks the ball long. McGovern needs a bounce. Comes back towards Clucas, feeds it back off to McGovern. Good running from half back. Under pressure, heads towards the line. .11 possessions and 2 marks today to McGovern. See McGovern got one in the back as he unloaded that ball. Lewis has kicked a goal in his 200th game. Cousins to Stone. Back towards centre half forward. The Dockers need a bounce. Clucas over the top of the ball. They'll ball it up 45 metres out from the Eagles' goal.
Clock running down. Under 3 minutes now remaining in this Western Derby. Certainly been the pick of the 7 we've seen. Clucas thumps it out wide. Callahan another possession. Gets it across the line and immediately cramps up. With some justification. That's his kicking foot. 25 possessions to Craig Callahan. None of them very easy. He is as tough as they come in this competition. Braun's off the ground. Evans is on. Callahan again. Dragged down. And across the line it goes. Some respect shown there by both players. The respective coaching outfits. Ball smothered off the boot. Dodd liked his game a lot. Across towards midfield. Bounces wide at Chisholm. Coming to meet the ball is Gale. Still Gale. Kicks out wide to Wills, who can take it and go. Wills takes on the tackler. Wooden got him. Daniel Parker finishes up on the deck. Wills has it again. Back towards Parker. And the Eagles swarming defence, making life very uncomfortable once more for the Dockers. 2 minutes to go. 14-9 to 10-7.
Just needs a hand on a jumper, doesn't it, just to retard you, just to let the rebound sit. And then the numbers just swarmed in, as Dennis said.
It's very quick, young Josh Wooden. So inside the Dockers 50. Worsfold all tied up. Minute and a half to go in this final quarter. It's been a great game at Subiaco. Parker to do the ruck work. Beaten by Ball. Worsfold Great vision to Lovell. Gives the ball back to Reid, so the Dockers under pressure now. It's on the half-forward line for the Eagles. Harding rockets the ball back towards Bandy. Cousins, clever. Kicks the ball down to Fraser Gehrig, but it's going to beat him over the line. Adrian Barrich on the boundary line.
KB, after such a great performance by the Dockers, a bit of bad news. I think Sean McManus, well, I know Sean McManus has torn his thigh and could be in a bit of trouble for next week.
O'Reilly, the dying minute of the game, kicks it only as far as Cousins. He was lively in the third term when they needed a spark. Ben Cousins, just as likely to pop this one. He'll kick from right on the 50. We're down to 35 seconds now. 14-9 to 10-7. The West Coast Eagles will make it 7-0 against Fremantle. Ben Cousins, it's bending the wrong side of the post. Jared Neesham disappointed at losing, but would have to be proud of the effort today. They're undermanned. They've lost some players to injury. Their best player, certainly last season, Dale Kickett, suspended. They've shown a lot of fight, particularly given the start they got. They could have been forgiven perhaps for tossing it away. Fletcher, Harding, they were down by 5 goals very quickly, but they came back. Chisholm on the wing to Bond. Can they get a late goal? I doubt it. Wait for the siren. Bond puts it out of bounds on the full. Good pressure from Peter Matera. And that will be the last action, I fancy, of the Western Derby. Put it in the book, 14-10 to 10-7. McKenna's got this ball. Time only to kick it, I'd suggest. So the West Coast Eagles run out winners. Great game of footy. 14-10 to 10-7.